Welcome to the very first episode of Thyroid-healthy Bites, a weekly podcast featuring thyroid-healthy recipes and lifestyle. My name is Ginny Mahar. I'm your host and the face behind the apron at HYPOTHYROIDCHEF.com. I help thyroid thrivers eat well and live well so that we can feel well. Today, I'm really thrilled to be here to announce this podcast, to introduce my new website, HYPOTHYROIDCHEF.com, it's actually kind of a 2.0 situation, but we'll get into that later. And I'm excited to introduce me. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to talk about what we're going to talk about here on Thyroid-healthy Bites. Before we dive in, I do want to mention that I have a free gift for you all that I don't want you to miss out on. This is one of the biggest questions that I get as a chef, and not just from thyroid thrivers, but from friends and family. What kind of cooking fats and oils should I use? Is this oil healthy? Will this fat work for high heat cooking? Is canola oil healthy? Spoiler alert, it's not. But the good news is I've put together a simple guide to healthy fats and oils that's going to answer all your questions and make those thyroid healthy choices even easier to make. So if you're watching this on YouTube, just click the link in the post, or you can grab it at hypothyroidchef.com. All right, so why don't I start with my story? Who am I? I'm Ginny Mahar. I'm a mom. I'm a business owner. I have been for 20 years. I started my first business when I was 23 years old, so kind of dating myself there. I have Hashimoto's, and that changed everything. I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism about 10 years ago, and about 4 years into that, I found out that I actually had Hashimoto's, which is the case for over 90% of us in the US who have been diagnosed with hypothyroidism. Most of us don't know that because we haven't been tested for Hashimoto's, but the vast majority of us do have autoimmune hypothyroidism, myself included. So this journey really changed everything for me. It steered my career into new territory. I had been cooking professionally and teaching cooking classes and blogging recipes for several years. And I decided if I'm going to be exploring thyroid healthy diet and lifestyle, why not share it? So I started Hypothyroid Chef back in 2015. And then in 2017, I met Dana Bowman, the original founder of Thyroid Nation. Maybe some of you have heard of it. And we partnered up because we had this big vision and big dream to create a never before seen lifestyle platform for thyroid patients that was going to really help solve all their problems about how do I implement all these thyroid healthy diet and lifestyle changes? How do I live thyroid healthy? We know what we need to do, but how do we actually do it? Because it's a lot and it's hard and it is sort of all aspects of your life. So that became Thyroid Refresh and our wellness adventure, Thyroid 30. And it's been a crazy year and a half. I won't go too far into it, but as a business, we had to make the hard decision to basically turn the lights off. It couldn't sustain itself, and I decided to come back to my original online home for thyroid healthy recipes, Hypothyroid Chef. But the good news is I'm coming back with all these skills and content and material and ways to help and support people that I just had no idea how to do when I started Hypothyroid Chef. So today, as I'm recording this, I just opened the doors to hypothyroidchef.com 2.0, and it's awesome. I hope you guys go check it out. I did want to tell you how I learned that diet and lifestyle do matter, though. I think it really speaks to how important it is to have community on the healing journey. So I was teaching a cooking class. This was about 4 years after that initial hypothyroidism diagnosis, and I felt awful. I was tired all day, every day. I was diagnosed right after my son was born. So I was raising, an infant, then a toddler, and I was, that certainly is tiring in itself. But this was out and out fatigue from the time I woke up until the time I went to bed every night. I was constantly sick. I had all these ongoing infections, and I started to make correlations that some of my symptoms like joint pain and brain fog seemed to be better when I did some dietary experimenting, like eliminating gluten or eliminating grains entirely. When I made some of these changes, I started to go, whoa, I feel better. I know these correlations are there. Yet every year when I would go to my doctor to have my thyroid labs tested and my medication adjusted, it was like, your thyroid labs are normal, your numbers are fine, so you're fine. Anything else you're dealing with isn't really related. And diet and lifestyle isn't really going to make a difference for hypothyroidism, so don't even really worry about that. Well, there's more to it than that, and it's frustrating that so many of us hear that story. I was teaching a cooking class, and I had told the director of the cooking school I was teaching at that I really needed to be pretty specific about what kind of classes I could teach because I was making dietary changes for my hypothyroidism. And I was teaching a class on a book written, it was like a cookbook class on a book written by a holistic nutritionist named Sarah Britton of My New Roots. She's amazing, love her blog, love her recipes. She's mostly vegan and I'm not, but you know, it was a really fun class to teach. But I mentioned to the class that I had hypothyroidism and I was making dietary changes. And after class, there were 20 people in the class. 3 of the women came up to me and said, I also have hypothyroidism and or Hashimoto's, and you have to read this book, and you need to know about raw cruciferous vegetables. Or one of them told me she and her sister had both been diagnosed with hypothyroidism and reversed it, got off their medication by eliminating wheat, and only wheat, not even gluten. So really, this was like a perfect example of how different we all are, how we all have unique dietary triggers, but also that when you really dive into this and you get to that point where you're like, I'm at rock bottom, I gotta feel better, I can't get through the day, I can barely hold my, continue with my career. And I was at that point, and these women really, by sharing their stories with me and sharing their resources with me, not only changed the course of my cooking career, but changed the course of my life. And it was really just a few months after that that I got tested for Hashimoto's, found a new doctor, and started with more holistic, whole health oriented thyroid care. And that changed everything. Now, a huge part of that was getting tested for Hashimoto's. And if any of you out there are thinking, I don't think I have Hashimoto's, my doctor would have tested me for it, I just have hypothyroidism, you need to think again. And you need to ask your doctor for a complete thyroid panel that includes especially TPO antibodies tests. If those are elevated, that indicates Hashimoto's. And the reason a lot of MDs do not test thyroid patients for Hashimoto's is because it doesn't change their treatment protocol. The conventional standard of care, at least in the US and a lot of, Western developed countries, is TSH testing only and treatment with levothyroxine. And while that does work for a lot of people, it also doesn't work for a lot of us. It's not enough. The medication is an important part of it, and I want to be clear about that I'm not here to tell you you can reverse or treat your hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's with diet and lifestyle alone. Absolutely not. Getting professional medical advice, regular testing, and usually prescription medication that's regularly adjusted so you're at the optimal dosage is crucial to your treatment plan. However, I do disagree with my doctor who told me that diet and lifestyle wouldn't make a difference. It made a tremendous difference for me. It's made a tremendous difference for thousands, if not millions of other thyroid patients. And I saw this all the time with Thyroid 30. people reclaiming their lives, getting rid of symptoms, feeling better by making diet and lifestyle changes. Simple stuff. So know that if you're not feeling great, A, get tested for Hashimoto's. And B, know that you can feel better. There are things you can do. And we're going to talk about all that stuff here on Thyroid-healthy Bites. And I've got a ton of content on that on hypothyroidchef.com, especially my thyroid tune-up course that was created in collaboration with New York Times bestselling author and thyroid expert Mary Showman. So if you're like, wait a minute, this is all new to me and I'm totally blown away because I've been struggling and suffering for decades, go to hypothyroidchef.com, go to my programs and check out the tune-up. This is the 2-hour crash course that I say every thyroid patient needs to do, because there really is a lot more to it than what we get in those super short doctor's appointments. And this is a great way to educate and empower and inform yourself. So the moral of the story is that diet and lifestyle do matter. When I went and got my test done, I asked my doctor, as I started to kind of put the pieces together and do some of my own research, I said, can I get a complete thyroid panel? I read that I need all these tests, not just TSH, but free T3, free T4, TPO antibodies, TG antibodies, reverse T3. And they agreed to do it. When the test results came back, everything was in the normal range except for my TPO antibodies. And I knew by that point what that meant. So when the nurse called me with the results, I said, so that means I have Hashimoto's then? And she said, yes, it's just as the doctor expected. So the doctor figured I probably had this. Most people in the US do, but they typically do not test or treat us for it. So important to have these online resources, have some kind of support system in whatever shape or form that takes, so that we can become more empowered and informed as patients. Because there are those of us who are really, really deeply suffering. When I went to the lab to get that test done, I noticed this series of nature photographs on the wall. They were really pretty. I live in Western Montana and they were local photos. And so I was looking at, the photos along the wall, and I got to the end and there was a letter from the photographer. And it talked about how they shared that, I have an autoimmune disease and a chronic illness, and it really affects my life. It has prevented me from holding a regular job. Many days it prevents me from even getting out of bed. But on the days when I do feel well enough, I love to go out and take these photographs. And in the last paragraph, it said that it mentioned that the autoimmune disease that this person was struggling with was Hashimoto's. This is what I was there getting tested for. And this is what my doctor had told me: diet and lifestyle won't make a difference. Your TSH is fine, so you're fine, and on and on. And I'm thinking, did anyone tell this photographer what I've learned about this? So that whole experience really lit a fire in me. My fire had been smoldering because I was feeling so awful. But when I started to get my health back and when I started to learn these things, I A, felt better, and B, I got mad. I was like, this can't be. I can't sleep at night knowing that there's other people out there, that there's people like this photographer. And we would hear from them all the time through Thyroid Refresh, people who have been suffering for decades and they don't have a great quality of life. And that's heartbreaking because there is so much we can do. So, nobody can do the work for you. That's kind of the hard truth. And I'm about living in the truth and in the reality and embracing that so we can do the work and feel better and enjoy the journey and all the beauty and empowerment that comes along with that. But yeah, if you're willing to do the work, you really can feel better and your health dreams can come true. So take heart. If you're out there feeling horrible. So, Hypothyroid Chef 2015. That was really the beginning of my healing journey, and I wanted to share it with other people. I wanted to create this place for thyroid healthy recipes, and I love making recipes. I have always loved to cook since I was a little girl. When I was 9 years old, I told my mom I wanted to have a cooking show and write cookbooks for a living. And, things changed, the world changed, the publishing industry changed, and here I am with a recipe blog talking to you on my podcast. So I haven't changed much since I was 9 years old. I still have the same passions, and cooked professionally from high school. I think I started when I was 18. Cooked my way through college, finished college, eventually decided I wanted to do culinary school. So I did that in my mid-20s. I went to the California Culinary Academy, which is a Cordon Bleu affiliated school, and had so much fun and learned a ton, and really did that because I wanted to start writing about food. So that's what I shifted my cooking work into. Like I said, I had recipe blogs. I wrote a column for the newspaper when I lived in Juneau, Alaska. I've done all kinds of different, writing assignments. I've written marketing copy for food brands and have done a lot of recipe development. So it's what I really, really love. But I always try to emphasize to people, because it seems like people get really intimidated by that chef title. It's just cooking. It's not rocket science. Don't be intimidated. And trust me, I'm a busy working mom and business owner now. I don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. And, I'm basically eating like a bio-individual version of the autoimmune protocol diet, which for any of you who have tried that know it requires you're preparing your own meals 3 times a day at least. So I like to keep things really simple, and I use that professional cooking background to just use those like cooking hacks and flavor boosting secrets and time saving techniques to make this doable for anyone. So that's what I've shifted. I used to focus my recipe blogging more on, these dazzling recipes. Now it's about health. And I know I'm not talking necessarily to other foodies. I'm talking to a lot of other people just like me who are busy, and they just want to feel better, and they want to eat better. They want to feed their families better. They want to learn about what thyroid healthy eating and living actually is. And they need it to be quick, to the point, and doable. So that is what I specialize in at Hypothyroid Chef, is making the whole process doable and accessible for anyone, regardless of your cooking skills. So don't stress about the chef part. Okay, let's talk about Thyroid-healthy Bites. What is this? What's this going to be, and what can you expect? I'm just starting, and I've really learned in my years to allow some organic space and wiggle room to let this become what it needs to be and what you need it to be. So please, anytime you're inspired, don't hesitate to reach out to me with feedback. You can contact me at ginny@hypothyroidchef.com. My contact info is right there on the blog. I'm always happy to hear from you. I always welcome constructive feedback, because I am here to serve you and to help you make it farther, faster on your healing journey. So my idea and my vision for Thyroid-healthy Bites is to shoot for shorter format, less than 30 minutes, shorter format videos that are sometimes cooking videos, sometimes talks like this where we'll cover lifestyle topics. Sometimes we'll deep dive into featured ingredients, like really thyroid supportive ingredients, foods that contain nutrients that are key thyroid supporting nutrients like selenium or magnesium. We might look at detoxifying foods like cilantro or turmeric. We might look at anti-inflammatory foods like tart cherry juice or ginger. I love to research, and I love to deep dive into those and then share with you, okay, now we've talked all about how amazing ginger is, for example. Here's all these recipes and ways that you can incorporate more of this ingredient into your cooking. And I'm going to show you what the heck to do with that weird looking ginger root when you bring it home, so you're not frustrated trying to cut it and peel it and things like that. So that's what I plan to do here on Thyroid Healthy Bites. And I really want to stress, that it's about thyroid healthy recipes and lifestyle. Because one thing I know for sure, after I've been on this, thyroid healing journey for 6 years now, thyroid patient for 10 years, really my healing journey, I'd say, started 6 years ago now. And what I've learned more than anything is that food is an essential piece, and it's not the only piece. It's all the things. It's what time you're going to bed at night. It's, are you drinking enough water? Are you taking the right supplements for you? Is your medication optimized? Do you have emotional support? Are you in a toxic relationship? Do you use toxic beauty products or cleaning products that are messing with your hormones and your thyroid? There's all these pieces of healthy living, and what I specifically call thyroid healthy living, that come into play and that determine how you feel when you get up in the morning, throughout the day, when you go to bed at night. This is where the magic happens, when we're able to incorporate all those different aspects. And that's what I did with Thyroid 30. And for any of you listening who know me, are friends with me, who have been on my Thyroid 30 team over the year, hello, I love you. Thank you guys so much. You're my cheerleaders and have been my support team through this big transition. And I want you to know, I do envision reintroducing Thyroid 30 here in some shape or format. It won't be the same as it was at Thyroid Refresh, but those community wellness adventures where we got together for 30 days and we devoted ourselves to whatever our healing goals were at the time, but really to all those thyroid healthy living practices, was so powerful and healing and fun. And I would love to, as time allows, to bring that back and to do that with you guys. So sometime in the next year, I'd say. And that, the great thing about that is that's where we get to really journey together. I am excited that I have an online platform. Unlike the old Hypothyroid Chef, I'm on a new platform where I can very easily incorporate those community experiences. So I'm really excited to do that. I'm also a functional medicine health coach candidate. So I'm currently in my training to become a functional medicine health coach. And I've been, health coaching for a while through Thyroid 30, but I really wanted to dive deeper into the principles of effective health coaching, especially as it, flows through this functional medicine health coach program, which is affiliated with the Institute for Functional Medicine. And in case you don't know, functional medicine is a whole health oriented medicine. It looks at root cause factors. It looks at lifestyle. It really focuses on all those things we talked about. So I am really excited to be doing that in tandem with launching this podcast and launching the new Hypothyroid Chef, so that you guys can learn through osmosis and I can share what I'm learning with you and just become better at what I already love so much to do, which is connecting with you all and sharing this stuff. So yeah, Thyroid Healthy Bites, shooting for 1 episode per week. I'm going to be sharing it across social platforms. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, I'm going to attempt to share it on all of those. And of course, I will be posting it on my blog, and that will go out in my newsletter. So if you're not on social media, don't worry about it. The best thing to do is to sign up for my mailing list. And really, that's a great thing to do anyways, because my mailing list is typically the first to hear any kind of news, any kind of new offering, new recipes, new content that I have to share with you. So you can do that at hypothyroidchef.com and get Thyroid-healthy Bites delivered weekly to your inbox. You don't have to lift a finger, just boom, it's there. Here's the new episode, here's what it's about. You can watch it or listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. If there's something you guys want me to cover, again, drop me a comment. Let me know what you need help with, because I'm here to educate and encourage and empower you. I'm here for you. So I want this time to be valuable and what it needs to be for you. So don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for watching and tuning into my very first episode of Thyroid-healthy Bites. I'm Ginny Mahar, also known as Hypothyroid Chef. Don't forget, guys, if you want to know more about healthy cooking fats and oils, you can download my free guide at hypothyroidchef.com. That will also get you on my mailing list. So 2 birds, 1 stone, free gift. Learn about healthy fats and oils, what to cook with, for what cooking purpose. This is just going to clear up all that confusion about what to use and what not to use and when. So go to hypothyroidchef.com and download that today. Or just go there anyway, even if you don't want that, because the door is just open. And check out my new online digs, check out the recipes, check out the amazing lifestyle courses that are there, check out the blog, and you'll see that big button for the free fats and oils guide if you want it. All right, Thyroid Thrivers, I wish you the best of health. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.